My name is Fernando Mendoza Ortiz, and I will be sharing some news on corporate corruption by the company Glencore and its transnational mining. Now, the news articles that I found is actually an update of the ongoing decade-long case of corruption charges to the company and its ex-staff. Now, before explaining the details of what happened and the prosecution of these corporation members, I will explain some context, which is that Glencore PLC is a Swiss transnational trading and mining company with activities on around 35 countries, mostly in Africa. But between the time frame of 2007 and 2018, they were found of conducting illegal and corrupt, fraudulent activities, mostly in the form of bribes, in countries such as Venezuela, Brazil, Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, the Ivory Coast, and South Sudan. Now, Glencore has been paying bribes in order to secure oil contracts, avoid governmental audits, to pay judges in order to disappear lawsuits, and overall manipulation of the oil prices and controlling mining markets across the countries that they participate in. They have done this in cooperation with third parties and state-owned companies. Now, the news is that new evidence was brought into the UK's fraud prosecutor offices, and because of this, they've delayed the decision to charge this ex-Glencore PLC staff involved in this widespread corruption, and they pushed the date forward to July 2024. Now, it's been alleged that this pushing back the date because new evidence has come in has happened a couple of times over the last years, and because of this, around 11 ex-staff members and corporate members have been in a legal limbo of not having the decision, not having hearings, and not having closure to their cases. Now, this comes with the history of Glencore having to pay London courts around 335 million in fines because they pleaded guilty against the charges of having these corrupt activities in Africa mostly. Now, this comes as a surprise mainly to those abroad, because Switzerland right now is considered one of the least corrupt countries. Actually, they're ranked 7 with a score of 82 by Transparency International into the Corruption Perception Index. Because of this, you're not expecting for a country like Switzerland or a corporation based on the country to be conducting fraudulent activities and corruption and paying massive bribes and having them paid on a massive international level. Now, this is worrying because it creates a vicious cycle within the mining industry, because the company has been cooperating with state-owned companies, the government, and third parties. This translates also into government corruption. It's a web of corruption that has escalations to an international and transnational level that affects markets and economies across the countries that they have an involvement with. Now, because of this, you can conclude that there is no actual trust within the companies amongst each other, nor the public buying products, buying this mining, all of this material. There is no trust in those. And because the company has been under investigation, under prosecution, and they have been finding new evidence and pushing back the dates, there is no closure in the accountability that hasn't been given. We know that they have been conducting corrupt activities. We know that there's millions of dollars in bribes. We know that there's billions of dollars in fine payments because they pleaded guilty, but there hasn't been closure because they continue to find evidence. They continue to prosecute members, and they keep finding new countries where the company has corrupt activities in bribes going on in. And finally, my sources.